sparking the drive. We're talking about sparking the drive and mastering employee motivation and recognition. So I believe on this call tonight, we have employers of labor, we have managers in the building, we have aspiring managers, aspiring employers of labor on the call tonight. So we're going to be speaking about something that really appeals and applies to all of us and affects us in one way or the other, either when you were climbing up the ladder or even as you got up to the ladder. So this call is for you. It's for all of us. Can I have my slides, please? Before my slides come up, I would like us to say a thing or two. What do we understand by employee motivation? You can just put that in the chat box. What do we understand by employee motivation? What do we understand by employee motivation? Can somebody share in the chat box? Employee motivation, it's a common word. It's a word that we are all used to. Please, this call is an interactive one. It's not a one-sided, conversation. It's for everyone. We have to speak. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear what you have to say regarding this conversation. So, well, for me, I'm excited to talk about this with you today because it's very essential for us to have a successful team. But at the same time, is one of the hardest to achieve as a leader, as a manager, as an employer. It's the hardest, one of the hardest. How do you motivate your staff? How do you motivate those that are working with you? How do you motivate your team to give you that 100% commitment in that job, in that place where they are working with you? How do you motivate them? How do you intend to motivate them? How do you know to motivate them and also recognize them? So I'll start by saying that it's not just about getting people to do their jobs. It's not just about getting them to do their jobs. So we're going to talk about how to spark that drive. All right, so you're all welcome. Timmy, you're welcome. So we're looking at the psychology of what truly fuels your team. What is the psychology? How do you actually get them to give you that 100%, the expectation, how to meet that expectation? You know, for so long, we have been used to, there's this old way of motivating, and that is giving little bonuses here and there, maybe a 5,000 naira raise on the salary, or you're giving them maybe free lunch, you're buying them small gifts. Is that what it's all about? Is that how you fuel the team? Do you think that those little bits that you're giving them is to spark that drive? Do you think it's enough? We're going to find that out. What makes them enthusiastic in that project, in that workplace? What makes them not just show up and waiting for the closing hour to go home? We're going to find that out. So, you know, there's a core problem. There's a core problem. And that core problem makes them, it frustrates, and it makes them a disengaged team. They are not committed. All right. So some of us actually learned or got to a managerial position by accident, not by design. And by accident, I mean someone resigned and you're just the next best person to step into that place, and then you're put there. All right. And there is a gap between what we do and what our team needs. There is that gap. What we do and what our team needs. Do you know what your team needs? So we need to find that solution. We need to know how to solve that problem of disengaged team. So, and that means we have to stop guessing and start knowing. Don't guess. Don't think that it is the money, it's the 5,000 naira raise, or it's the free lunch. Can I have my next slide? Don't think it is the 5,000 naira raise or the free lunch that is going to get or spark that drive. Stop guessing and start knowing. Go beyond surface level motivation. What we do by giving them the free lunch and the raise and the bonuses, what we do is surface level motivation. That's just on the surface. We need to uncover the real hidden drivers of engagement. How do we engage them? What is the why behind the change? There has to be a change. There has to be that shift from being a reactive to a strategic approach of motivating your employees or your team members. So how do you do that? A lot of employees or employers, what they do is they just, give them parties, free lunch. They don't understand that there are 3 hidden drivers of engagement. 3 hidden drivers. One is autonomy, the other is mastery, and then purpose. Autonomy. A lot of employees want to be owners. They want to have ownership. Give them that ownership mentality for them to own up what they're doing, own up the tasks that you're giving to them. But you're not giving them that ability to be heard. You just want them to be seen and not heard. It has to be your ideas all the time. So stop guessing and start knowing. Turn those goals into magnets and not milestones. You give them tasks to do. Allow them to do the task. Allow them to do the task. Don't wrap it around them. Let it not be all about you. Don't be a micromanager. Don't micromanage your employee. Don't micromanage your team members. And when you start knowing them, watch your best people come out and they become your biggest champions. And at the same time, you will be building a resilient and self-motivated team. Now, what do I mean by that? Even when you give them tasks, all right? Give them tasks to do. When you have given them the task, let them own that task. You can support them from behind, but let them own that task. And when they have owned that task, even when they get to bottlenecks, when they get to difficult, when they encounter challenges, they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up because you have given them that sense of ownership. You have allowed them to embrace and to own that task or that project. And you also have to ensure that you align their skills. You harness their skills. One other way of how you can motivate yourself, when you see that a particular employee is good at a particular task, allow that employee or that team member own and drive that task. And skills can be honed, where they can maybe like they go for trainings, they go for courses, and then they come back solutions to every challenge that they meet. Now, can you hear me?
No.
Yes, now we couldn't hear you for a while.
Okay. So a lot of us are reactive.
Hello, everyone.
Now we couldn't hear. We just couldn't hear her
Okay.
again.
Okay, I think we lost her. So let's see. I think it's a network problem from our end. Please apology for
Yes.
that. Let me try.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. We couldn't hear you. We lost you.
Okay. I don't know where you lost me, but I was talking about not being a reactive leader, but being a strategic leader. So for the reactive leader waits for things to go wrong, waits for things to go bad, and then they start fixing the problems. You have to be very proactive and you have to be strategic in ensuring that things don't go wrong before you fix them. There is the motivation myth. It's not always about money. It's not always about money. We believe that money solves all problems. We believe that money is what solves all problems. No, okay, it's not always about money. It's not always about money. All right. So the biggest mistake we make is believing that money solves all motivation problems. Okay, and that a competitive paycheck or salary is important, because when the salary is not the expectation of the employee, they leave. But it's not always about money. All right, it's important, but it doesn't have to be always about money. So money is the floor. It's the floor, it's the barest minimum in the scheme of things. All right, it is not a ceiling. And by the floor, I mean, yeah, a good paycheck is good. A good paycheck is good. It keeps people from leaving. When you pay them well, they want to stay. But are they actually giving you what you want? Are they just showing up and not engaging? If they are just showing up and not engaging, you're not getting the best out of your team. So money is the barest minimum, while the ceiling is the maximum, is the limit for motivation. Okay, so yes, you can raise bonus, give them short-time boosts, but it will not inspire them to go on. In this part of the world, we believe that money is the motivator to keep you in that place of work, but there is more. All right, so a good salary, people will not leave, but it's a necessary condition. Yes, we all know, but it's not a sufficient one. We need to know this today. It is not a sufficient one. Every employee expects more than money, something that they can hold on to and build their career upon. Even when they leave you, what are they going to do with their lives? How can they take their career further? You're paying them well, but they do not have anything to hold because they do not have that ability. You're not giving them. So we have to take a deeper look, the real psychology of work. Autonomy, the need for control over your work. Trust me, I am very sure for those of us who are on this call, when you were probably just climbing up the ladder, you always wanted to own that task or that project that you're assigned to. But your manager or your leader keeps, being on your shoulder. He keeps, so the moment you turn left or turn right, your manager is behind you, always watching to see how you're going to carry out that task. So employees want to have control. They want to have that ownership, but all they need from you is support. Okay, so it's okay. Tell them how to do it and then step back. Show them how to do it and then step back. Right? So instead of telling them exactly this is how I want it done, you just give them salient points. Just give them a framework, let them go ahead and work and do at it. And then the next thing is mastery, the desire to get better at something you care about. When they have autonomy, when they have ownership of that task or that project, they have that desire to protect it and to guide it, to ensure that it does not fail. You give them opportunities. You give them opportunities, growth opportunities. You also have to give them growth opportunities. A lot of employers do not give sufficient or adequate opportunities for growth. So when you tell them about trainings, you tell them you need to allow them to go for courses or go for trainings, they will tell you there's no money for that. And as such, you keep them in that closed space. They don't go out. Everything they start and know is within your organization. There needs to be that mastery. They need to gain more experience and also collaborate with others. So the purpose, the need to do the work also matters. The need to do the work also matters, okay? So it's about connecting your team to the bigger picture, which was why I said they need to go out. They need to step out. There has to be that connection. You cannot keep them closely knit in that place of work or in that organization without stepping out. So, I mean, autonomy is good. You need to empower them. You need to empower your employees. You need to allow them to have more skills to grow. All right? So autonomy is good. A lot of leaders are micromanagers. It's all about them. It's all about what they are saying and what they want. They do not read the room. So your secret power is, as an employer, as a leader, as a CEO, as an owner, you need, your secret power is reading the signals. You need to read the signals. When you walk into a room, when you walk into a room of your team, you walk into a room where you're having a meeting, your meeting room with your staff, with your team, you need to read the signals. You need to read the room. What is the room saying? What is the atmosphere in that room? Is it an atmosphere of a team of people who are willing to give ideas? You get into the room and your team, nobody is talking. Nobody wants to contribute. Nobody wants to bring the ideas. Why? Because you have succeeded in micromanaging them like robots. You don't turn your team to robots. You don't make your staff robots. Allow that flexibility and autonomy to give their best, to give their ideas. So when you walk into that room, what is the atmosphere in that room? What are they saying? What's the atmosphere saying? You're asking questions, you're asking for contributions. Nobody is willing to share their ideas because you have micromanaged and turned them to robots. So you need to listen to your team. You need to listen to what is not being said. Take, for example, you tell them about a new project. You tell them about, today we're talking about, okay, so if you're in the education space, today they're talking about the new curriculum and how we're going to walk around the new curriculum, and everybody is wondering. Sometimes your team members are confused because you have overwhelmed them with so much, they don't even know what to do, what they will say or what they will do that will be right or wrong. So when you come up into that meeting and you're speaking, nobody is talking back to you. You see that silence in that room is very loud. It means that they are saying something. So you need to listen to what is not being said in that room. You need to observe the non-verbal cues of your team and the dynamics. Non-verbal cues. For example, you're sharing a new idea, you're sharing a new project, and you will just hear in the room. Tell me, have you experienced such? If you have experienced such, please put it in the chat box. Say yes, or you type a Y. Have you experienced such? You're sharing with your team something, a new idea or a new project, and you're hearing sighs, and you're hearing maybe murmurings in the background. You need to walk. Yes. Yes. You get into the room and you're saying things, nobody is responding. So we're saying there is the goal setting that works. You lean out or lean in. moving beyond top to bottom directives, because a lot of times in our organizations, especially in this part of the world, a lot of us, we are giving directives from the top and it goes to the bottom. It's top to bottom and not bottom up. Trust me, the best way to lead, one of the best ways you can actually maximize your leadership or to gain your employees' commitment and engagement is to allow them, come from bottom up. Let the ideas come from bottom to the top. Don't say, that gardener, what is he saying? He doesn't know what he's saying. Your gardener might be that solution in your organization. Your gardener might be that person that can turn things around in your organization. So you must listen to everyone in your team, in your organization. Okay, so your secret power as a leader is your ability to read the signals. It's about listening to what is not said. You pay attention to body language in meetings. And you notice that even the volunteers to projects, they are holding back. It's not because he doesn't know what to say. It's not because he doesn't know what to do, but because he's confused. Sometimes they are confused. So they're not going to tell you. Okay, so you need to know all of these things. They might be confused and feel overwhelmed. Once you start reading the signals, you can use that as a powerful tool to motivate, empower, and encourage your team to give you the best. You are not just creating goals. You create goals that everybody are co-owning the goals. They have their ideas, they bring in their ideas, and you are bringing yours. And then you find a balance. You strike a balance with your team. You find a balance, a place where everybody has a shared responsibility of, moving that organization and ensuring that they don't just show up and show out, but they show up, they lean in, and they don't lean out. Okay, so I believe that I am saying some things that we are taking home. If I'm saying some things that align to you, or you feel that, okay, what you are saying is making sense, please put it in the chat box and say makes sense, or put MK, 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 MK. Let's hear. Let's see you in the chat box. Let's see you in the chat box. Let's see you in the chat box. So yes, so we have the lean in and lean out. From lean out to lean in, when you give them that opportunity, they lean in towards you. Everybody co-owns that project, co-owns everything about that organization. So we look at new ways of setting goals. We call it the lean framework. The new ways of setting goals. You are linking it to purpose, you're empowering your team, you are aligning with your strength, and then we all navigate together. How do we set these goals? Using the link. So you're linking their purpose. You start by connecting the team. You start by connecting their purpose. Why are we together? You connect that purpose, and then you empower them. Well, after you've connected with the purpose, the reason why we're setting this goal, why are we setting the goal, what are the goals set to achieve, what are we going to achieve with that? Everybody is coming together to set these goals, all right? And then you have empowered them to achieve the goals. You empower them with the skills. You give them autonomy. We will not overemphasize autonomy. I know, yes, the company, I built it from the scratch. It has been my brain. It's my baby. It's my project. I can't let anybody come in and start doing whatever. No, in this day, everybody is a partner. Everybody has a stake. Let your team know they have a stake in the company. They have a stake in that organization. They will give you the best. Yes, you built it, but the ideas they have, you may not have everything. So you align with your strength. Square pegs in square holes. You know what they're good at. You know what everyone in your team is good at. And you align. You give them that opportunity to thrive. Build a culture. Build the culture. Build that culture of empowering your team and align the strength. The IT is the IT. Let the IT do what the IT needs to do. The administrator is the administrator. Align everybody, align their strengths, and then let's navigate together. We commit all the challenges, whatever challenges we all face it squarely. Whatever challenges we face, that comes across the way, we face it squarely. It is possible for the team to meet and even exceed their targets. It is possible when you empower them. You have to give them autonomy. They must be heard. They must not just be seen, but be heard. So instead of the workplace feeling like a burden, the goal will now be a shared responsibility for everyone. So you need to have that shift mindset. Let it be that, tonight, after tonight's call, we will encourage you to have a mindset shift, that your team will not be feeling burdened. They don't feel like robots in the workplace. They are not micromanaged. You are empowering them. You're giving them a voice. You're giving them the tools, the opportunity, the skills for them to upscale. All right. So we need to motivate our team to give you the best. So you need to put it into practice. You need to put it in the practice. You need to put it in practice. Okay. You don't have to transform your entire team overnight. It's not a 360 in one night. It's a gradual process. But the key takeaway I would like to leave us with tonight is that, take one small concrete step today. One small concrete step, one thing from this call. Ensure that you take one thing, and it should be one concrete step that you're going to put into practice after this call. The goal is to start small and you build momentum. At this point and at this juncture, I would like to say, with these few points of mine, have I been able not confuse you, to educate, to inform, to charge you that motivating your team is beyond money. It's not all about money. So if you have questions, I am here. So we have our Q&A session. We're not going to take much of your time. Once we're done with this Q&A, the next facilitator will come and tell us how exactly we can boost this motivation and recognize our team, be able to, give them that regular. So please, if you have questions, we have for the next 5 minutes. If you have your questions, if you have contribution, you have anything to say, please, the floor is open. Like I said, it's a free, safe, and open space for conversation. Let's have you, please. I don't want to be like I'm the one talking. Please, let's have you say a thing or two, or you have questions. Please ask your questions, and we are here to respond. Thank you very much. Thank you, team. Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Jonah, your hand is raised. Kindly unmute, and we have you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonah Samuel. From the training, the discussion, what I noticed is everything is based on a particular motivational theories, which is the Esberg motivation, SBEG motivation of theories. Okay, theories of motivation. Because from the focus of the discussion, what I learned is majorly focused on the sociological and psychological aspect of work. All right, when it comes to employee. And when we talked about the SBEG theories of motivation, it takes into consideration 3 key areas. One of the key areas we are based on the facilitator is the aspect of the job, and the 3 key areas there also we touch in one way or the other: the job enlargement, job enrichment, and the job empowerment. All right, so but the major one we focus on was more like the job empowerment, a situation where employees should be giving free rule, delegating decision-making power to them so that in their areas of job, which will also boost their overall morale. And these are very, very key in respect to when it comes to our workplace. All right, I just want to really add 1 or 2. I know, although there are 2 factors when it comes to the aspect of SBEG, the hygiene factors and the motivators. All right, the hygiene is talking more of the maintenance factor, but I know that further we'll be discussing more on that as training goes further. All right, so that is just my own contribution in respect to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jonah, for that amazing contribution. Thank you so much. Empowering, motivating your team. Okay, so Olga, Mr. Olga, your hand is raised. Thank you. You can unmute. Thank you very much.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Antonia, for this wonderful lecture. I'm just smiling at what you are saying. All what you are saying is practicable and is something that is obtainable these days. But I have just one question, because I believe so much on hands-on experience training, which you are giving us now. Now you have a pool of staff of 27, and among these 27, 14 seems to be very toxic. They keep influencing other ones not to take your direction or not to adhere by any regulation from you. And the only thing you can do at the moment is to like change the whole thing, or trying to like bring in inject new stuff to make sure that this thing doesn't continue. So in our own digital era now, how can one manage this? Because looking at what you are saying now, you say you can't just overnight change the entire team at once. Now, in this team, we have a very difficult group of people that are always trying to influence other people not to work because they are not satisfied. So how do we manage this kind of situation that is common to most organizations these days? Thank you, and over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olga, for that question. Now, a particular set are toxic, influencing the others. Have you had one-on-one sessions with these people? Have you listened to them? Have you heard them? Because one thing we fail to do is hearing your staff. You have to hear them. They cannot just be toxic overnight. Were they toxic from the very first start? No. So it's actually, you said they are not satisfied. Something is causing that dissatisfaction. Something has caused that dissatisfaction. You need to find that out. When you find that out, when you carry out that litmus test by listening to the spoken and the unspoken, you will find the salient issues that is making them toxic. Let me give you a scenario. I heard about an organization where older hands are least paid than the newer hands. What do you think will happen in that organization? What will you think will happen in those organizations? Now they are not talking. They are not talking. They are all quiet. So do you know what the mindset they have? They have this mindset: we are the least paid, or we are not as, better paid as those that are being brought in. And we are the ones doing most of the work. There is that grumbling. So now what happens in that situation? There is a divided, the house is divided. They are showing up. They are not engaging. They are not motivating. they are not training others. They are not empowering. So even when they have the ideas of how to help these new hands to settle in, they're not willing to give it. Have you listened to them? In that kind of situation, you need to listen to them and have that conversation on how you can help them overcome that toxicity. You need to have a stable culture. You need to have a culture that aligns with everybody, that goes with everybody from day one. One voice. Of the major solution to that situation is hear them, listen to them. Whatever they say, if there are 14 of them, you will definitely have 14 different issues why they are dissatisfied, and then you begin to align, you begin to and solve them one after the other in ways that you can. But there has to be an understanding. You have an understanding with them. I will not tell you to lay them off because it will cost you more to engage new hands. But then again, if it's something you cannot avoid, then you may just do, but not everybody's going to leave. Not everybody's going to leave. You can't satisfy everybody, but at least you will get most of them back to be aligned to the organization, and we'll all work together. But listen to them. I believe you will get the solution from whatever they say to you. Any other question? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any other questions? So if we do not have any other question for this session, I would like to make welcome the second facilitator for the night, for the evening, Mr. Zachariah Ayodele. Please, can we show him some love as we make welcome our facilitator, Zachariah Ayodele. On this call, please, let's hear you. Let's meet you.
Thank you so much.
Good
evening. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, CEO, with the class. I sat for like 1 hour as if I just listened to you for 1 minute. How time flies when we have the CEO with a class. Thank you so much for this session, and we can't thank you less. So my name is Zachariah Ayodele. I will be the co-facilitator for tonight's training. And of course, we've heard a whole lot from the CEO, but I just want to start from this point of view. I read somewhere, not until when I discovered that the author of what I read was actually my university mates. And he said something that actually, made a whole lot of sense. I'm just trying to go back to Mr. Godfrey Oga's question, basically, because he said he's a pragmatist. He wants practical application of things, so which is very awesome. And so I'm going to share these just 2 minutes storyline. Of course, I'm going to start with a storyline. However, let me just, start with that, this kind of response, okay? So she wrote somewhere and said, train your employees like they want to leave, like they've gotten every cake and the icing about what you're doing. And she now said, but treat them well and they want to stay. I picked that very line, and it actually resonated with me that, okay, this is nice. Then I read somewhere again, and that's very, 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 very awful, so to speak, because of the human face that wasn't there. But I know all about perspective that I'll be quick to hire. I'll be slow to hire, but be quick to fire. So we all have dynamics around teaching, or employing people in all facets of lives. So basically, I'm going to simply talk about the how within the space of probably 1 hour, and it's going to be strictly, interactive. So I'm going to start with the word of Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling, okay, from strategy to actions. So we are counting down. This is the part 2 of the session. So I want us to keep an open mind, because there will be a lot of how that we're going to be learning here, and it's going to be a take home, and we can make judgments at the end of the day. So from strategy to action. So this is the man. He was actually born in Bombay. He was born in India, but he was an English poet. All right. He wrote so many short stories, different poems, and is an epitome of courage, dreams, and human spirits. And I would like to ask at this junction, let's analyze this picture story on this slide. What can we see? What is, going on in our minds? I want you to quickly hit the chat button, the message button, and type. No correct answers, no wrong answers. Whatever you have here that is running in your mind, I want us to quickly chat, probably in a sentence, or you send an emoji, but just say what's on your mind. So this poet is a lifeline, a case study of courage, dreams, and human spirits. So, okay, the question is, from this picture, what do you think about this picture when it comes to motivation? What do you think about this picture line? Already I told you about the picture, Rudyard Kipling, an English poet that wrote so many books. In fact, one of his favorite quotes that I learned was that I keep 6 honest men. They taught me what I knew. They are what, why, how, where, when, and a whole lot. Okay, Jonas Samuel said, I can see team spirit in one of the picture. Fantastic. Okay. Akinlola, okay. Let's look at it properly. What can we see in this picture that is telling us about motivation? Mr. Jonah just mentioned that he saw team spirits. Okay. Okay, please. Okay, I think Mr. Tim Akinlola, I don't know if you understand the question now. Could you please just tell us how do you link these particular picture stories? 3 images apart from the Rudyard Kipling's picture. The first man is on top, climbing to get to the top of the mountain. And we had some set of people beneath it. Okay, this looks like a motivated team. Thank you so much. Okay, getting to the peak is the goal. Fantastic. Miss Injoma Inwokeji. Oh my, wow, this is awesome. Team Akinlola, this looks like a motivated team. Fantastic, considering the I-5 giver. Okay, Mr. Muibidin said individualism. Okay, all right. So someone being a solo, someone running as a silo. Okay, good job, everyone. So how have we put this teamwork? How have we put goals? Okay, the first man climbing meaning is being challenged to attain the goal. Fantastic. All right, so awesome. I like the fact that we have an understanding of what this picture is talking about. Now I want us to now go back to this particular picture again. How have we used any of the storyline or the clue in these pictures to our own personal lives? 1, to what we do presently, whether we're employed or we are employer of labor. How have we used resilience, goal setting, attaining goals, team spirit, creative thinking and imagination? That's what we have under that particular mountain that young man is trying to climb. How have we used all of these? Okay, Mrs. Godia Gaia, looks like the team got an idea to work with okay, after brainstorming. Fantastic. Okay, at least she was able to link the brain globe, around everything. So now the next question is, how do we apply any of the dynamics around these picture stories to our personal life in terms of motivation, or to what we do as an employer, or what do we do with all of these dynamics as an employee? So I want us to, okay, can everyone hear me? Am I loud enough? Please, if you can hear me crystal
Yes,
clear.
yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Now,
Okay.
yes.
All right, fantastic. So how have we applied any of these skills, any of these storylines, any of these images? How have we applied it to our personal lives, being an employer of labor or being an employee that gets to be paid at the end of the month? How have we used resilience, team spirit, creativity and imagination, resilience, goal setting? How have we used it in our different spheres of lives? So I want us to hit the chat button as well, so that when we're doing whatever we're doing next, it's going to make sense that, okay, motivation is not just about money, like the CEO rightly mentioned, is way, way beyond that. So how have we used any of these dynamics in our daily lives, or when it comes to we as an employee, or when it comes to we as an employer? Please, I want us to hit the chat button. I want it to be as, pragmatic as possible, participatory as possible. How have we used any of these ideas into our daily lives? So we have just 2 minutes so that we can go to the next item on the slide. Thank you. I'm waiting. Okay, how have we used these storylines? The man that set a goal that wants to attain to the mountain, the team that are giving themselves high five, probably they've won at the end of the goal setting. So how did they try to use all of these creativity and imagination to get to the top of the mountain? So do you have any response or responses? Okay, maybe we are still racking our brains around it. Okay, let's think about it, please. Let's think about it. Do we have any response? How have we used motivation? How have we used, okay, team support? Okay, Mrs. Ijoma said team support, amazing, fantastic. So you are not working in silo. So you believe so much in team support, fantastic. Thumbs up to you, okay? So for you to be able to be motivated, or for you to be able to have the feel of motivation as either an employer of labor or an employee getting the paycheck at the end of the day, you must have, okay, team support, fantastic. So Mr. Jonah also mentioned collaboration. The most lonely place in this world is that, okay, Mr. Jonah, collaboration, thank you. Mrs. Antonia Joseph says, share your ideas with the team, fantastic. You should always talk, okay? Ms. Folagbade Olubukona said, I guess, please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing names properly. Using rope to climb is creative, fantastic, but not all the time we have to climb to the top to get some things done. Even within our teams, without even climbing, some people can always be the crutch that we can lean on, fantastic. So using the rope to climb is creative, fantastic. So let's go to the next slide. There's a whole lot we're going to be doing around this, a whole lot. So I want us to just keep an open mind. Okay, Karaki Titi Lokwe, fantastic, embracing challenges, amazing. All right, so I love football so much, and unfortunately my team is not winning lately, but I know the good days are ahead. So this is a tactical playbook. We have 1, 2 shifting around, it's telling you that when it comes to motivation, it's not one, one side or one style or one size fits it all. It's a very dynamic human concept that either evolved from sociology, or from psychology. So there's no one approach to motivation. So why do we have different perspective to motivation? That is why we have the tactical playbook. Okay, I'll take your comment, please. I'll take your comment, Ms. Godia. Thank you so much for that comment. So this is the tactical playbook. And what is the major aspects of the tactical playbook? Ladies and gentlemen, the theories around motivation is why we have different tactical playbook around employee motivation. All right. Considering the classical theories, literature, let's go to the next slide, please. Considering the different classical literature, it is believed that job satisfaction, motivation, and reward system are included in one area of organizational theory. Now, what is that thing that everyone is eyeing when it comes to any brand, whether it's home breed or international? Every organization is looking towards the bigger picture, which is organizational success. Every organization wants to succeed, be it a keke rider, be it a bean cake seller, even the never-doer that will feel like they are not educated at all. They want to be successful at the end of the day. Now, how do you get that? The first motivation for anyone here today that wants us to take home is better services. There are millions of things that people are doing, and you're just being lucky, so to speak, to be part of it. If you don't provide better services, your customers, your clients will look elsewhere. Apart from having better services, you must ensure that you satisfy your customers. Like they said, our customers are king to an extent. And some people will tell you to another extent, they are the one keeping your business. They are the gatekeepers. So customer must be satisfied. It's part of what the organizational theory is talking about. Now, in the midst of everything, the satisfied employees will give you better services, satisfied customers, and you are going to have organizational success. Basically, that's the simple organogram, metrics around employee satisfaction. That is the big picture around employee motivation. If your employees are satisfied, every other thing will fall in place. So that's an aspect of organization theory. So I'm going to move to the next aspect of this conversation. Please, I want us to keep an open mind. I want us to keep a very transparent mind. Now, for you to be able to beat your chests that you're a satisfied employer, or you are a very strategic employee or employer, so to speak, you must think about the 4 major theories of motivation, employee motivation. So the next slide, please. I want everyone to see that. It's very important. Our theories are proven evidence by different school of thoughts that these are things that work this way and these ones will not work the other way. So I want us to keep an open mind to know exactly where we fit when it comes to how to sparkle our employees. First on the list is that of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The second on the list is Herzberg's motivational or hygiene theory. The 2-factor theory, they say something about employee motivation. Now, McGregor's XY theory as well, it's very important that we put pen to paper tonight so that while we're dealing with our employees, we are not just dealing with them, we're getting results. So we can use any of these approaches in our how to be able to balance our employee needs, and we can be able to have good organization success. The last one that we're going to be looking at is McClelland's need for achievement theory. So these major theories are very, very important. Maslow, Esberg, McGregor's, McLennan's, they are very, very vital. Proving philosophies, proving scientific findings that led to why we need to motivate and how we need to motivate our employees. All right, we're all familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, it's pyramidal, but unfortunately, fortunately, it came around 1940s in his famous journal, you know, when he spoke about what people need. All right. So I want us to look at something around Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The next slide is going to prove us right. But I just learned some couple of days back that this particular pyramid wasn't even the one that designed this pyramid. It was McDermott, an American psychologist, that actually built this, but he propounded this theory. Now, Maslow states that people are motivated by unmet needs, which are hierarchical in the order that prevent us from being motivated by an area unless all lower level needs have been met. Now, let's look at this hierarchy of needs. Psychological, safety, love, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Now, those ones that we felt as an employee, as an employer of labor, your employees don't need them. That's exactly what they need. That is what they need. They need you to understand them. They want to be safe. They want to feel safe. Now, they want to see you from the point of love. Now, when these three underneath baseline on this pyramid are actually looked forward to as an employer, I am telling you, you have given a whole lot of emotional deposits that you're going to get a whole lot from. Psychology, human understanding, human studies. Do you have emotional deposits? One of your colleagues came around and said, okay, actually, my roof is leaking and I don't know whether I can stay a day off so that I can clean up. You say as a boss, who are you? Do you know who I am? You're not going anywhere. So when you leave, who is going to do your work? Now, that employee will be going back home to go and lay in that particular house that is already soaked. Why can't you have an emotional deposit that, okay, oh, I feel for you. It's quite unfortunate. I know you have a whole lot to do now, but don't you think that if I can give you any closure, it will make a lot of sense? If you don't have anyone to replace that person, you have actually deposited something that that person will never forget in his or her life, rather than, you know, rejecting that or saying you are not approving that particular leave. Now, how many leaders will stay out of their comfort zones and say, okay, my employee came to me, and as a leader, as a manager, because there are two different things around being a leader and a manager. Okay, since this guy's roof is leaking today, okay, I think I should be able to, you know, I think I should be able to help out, you know, and considering the track record of that particular person, you can be able to stand in for that person, not necessarily affecting others. Now, tell me, when this person returns and knows that you did that job or someone actually helped, don't you think that baseline of psychology that you read and were able to melt out to him will help the business to grow better? They will go as far as using their head to break coconuts for that particular organization when they know that you really show that level that you felt doesn't matter, but they actually need it. Later, self-esteem will come in and self-actualization will come in. But at the baseline, please, distinguished participants tonight, let's try as much as possible to meet the lower level needs that our employees need. That was what Maslow said about the theory of motivation. Now let's go to the next theory. Please, I want us to be taking notes. If we have questions at the end of the day, we can ask. Herzberg's motivational or hygiene two-factor theories. This is one of my theories. I love it so much because it's just like hygiene. When people go to the restroom, they wash their hands. Some people, they are very meticulous that each time they use anything or they go out, they are coming back, they try to sanitize themselves. So that is one aspect of the Herzberg's motivational hygiene theory. Now, it's also known as two-factor theory that proposes job satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So when you see motivational factor, right, there's a twist to it. When you see the hygiene factor, there's a twist to it. So hygiene factors are extrinsic aspects of the work. That means something that is obvious from the outer world. All right? It's just glaring, things that you have to do that people must recognize that is actually happening. Those are the hygiene factors. So number one on that list is salary. Number two on the hygiene factors include working conditions. Now, the third part is we have policies. My organization, we don't play with policy. We are big on policies. This hygiene factor is also talking about policies and supervision. And the last part of the hygiene factor is relationships. Very, very key. So as an employee of labor or employer of labor, consider all these four dynamics around the hygiene factors. All right? So if we have all of these in place, this condition prevents dissatisfaction but do not motivate employees. Are we listening, please? Even when you give them eye-popping offer, you pay them like they work in PricewaterhouseCoopers, Penguin, UN, that salary is not still giving them what they want. If you say, okay, annually, I want to be giving you 1 billion naira for your working condition and some other incentives, it is not still the reason that will make, motivate employees. Policies and supervisions. You're supposed to come to work 7:30 and you said, okay, let me be flexible and you can resume by 9. All right? This particular aspect of this theory is also telling you that there's a limit to how your policy will be rigid and there's a limit that you have to give autonomy. So relationship is the best out of all of these. You need to be able to create relationship with your employees, and employees too needs to create, relationship when it comes to ideas around hygiene factors. Now, motivators are the intrinsic factor. That those things are from within. It's from their mind. Nobody is saying it. Now, what are those indices of motivators that are intrinsic? Number one is achievement. Oh, am I really achieving what I'm doing? Okay, do I really want to come back to work the next day? Interest in the work? Do you have that? Okay, what is my responsibility? Am I being seen? Is my responsibility giving that, top notch of expectation? And am I advancing in my job? Is this job within myself, when I speak to myself in silence, do I think this job is giving me or taking me to where I need to be or to go? So this is the Herzberg motivational or hygiene theory, two sides of the coin. The next part of it is, how do we manage these two? At the end of this presentation, we can be able to make judgments on how we intend to do it. Next slide, please. This particular theory is known as theory of X and Y management. Now, every employee, they will tell you that employers are lazy. I am telling you, they will tell you, oh, all employers are lazy. That's the belief. So that's what McGregor's XY theory is all about. But within the space of this McGregor's XY theory, there's something to take home. Now, each assume that the manager's role is to organize resources. Now, we want our manager to continue giving us resources and all of that, to the best benefits of the company. But organization cannot give you everything. That is why improvisation is coming in. However, beyond this commonality, the attitude and assumptions they are is embodied in different perspectives. But what this X theory is telling you is that what motivates any employee is money. The X McGregor's factor is telling you that no more, no less. There are other things, but the major benchmark is what? Money. Let's go to the Y factor, the theory of Y. The next slide, please. I want
Please, if you are okay, welcome back. Welcome back.
Are we there?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Fantastic. All right. So now the theory Y is higher level needs of esteem and self-actualization. Is quite similar to the previous theory. All right. This one is telling you that, okay, I want to be self-actualized. All my needs, all what I want to achieve in life is just around high esteem, which is why you see most people when they are in any organization. Of course, in the history of mankind, money has better story to tell. Fantastic, we all need money. But they always find out that their name is very important than whatever they are earning. Because they know that when they already do, or when they actualize, when they have self-actualization, the money will come. That is what McGregor's theory of Y is saying. They believe that their name, their actualization is very, very important. So these higher level needs through which employees can be best motivated. For example, you're an organization and that particular employee is not just hardworking, but very committed. He's not just committed, but very loyal. And within the space of this loyalty, commitment, and all of that, you've actually seen that this person has potential. Have you started nurturing this person so that that person will be seen into self-actualization? Not because that person wants to be a boss, but that person is paving ways for future opportunity, whether within or outside that organization. Because most people felt, okay, let me train them, and I don't want my employee to be better than me. No, this theory said no. You have to set self-actualization, and it has to be, at the higher level beyond money. That's McGregor's Y theory. Now let's go to the last theory, because I'm not going to bore you with too much. We have more than 1,000 theories, but I just picked these 4 so that we can all be guided to know which one we can employ in our organization. McLennan's need for achievements underlines Maslow's self-actualization. The similarity to Herzberg are the high achiever tend to be interested in motivators, while low achievers are more concerned about hygiene factors. Now, remember hygiene factors. People want money, but now this McLennan's needs theory is closely associated with learning theory, because he believed that needs are learned or acquired by the kinds of events people experience in their environment and culture. Please, we shouldn't play with the environment that we work, or the employee's environment and the organization culture. It's very, very important, because whatever happens in that environment could either break or make the organization. So we need to be very, very mindful of our climate as well as our organizational culture. So culture is how we run our things, the day-to-day proceedings, dealings, and even to the point that your clients or your customer can beat their chest and say, oh, I trust these people, they cannot do this. On this premise, McLennan does not just talk about culture. This particular theory is telling you that, oh, we are in for good job. We will have our power. Let our power be shared. And above all, we need to be friends to create relationships so that these employees will give us the best. So 3 indicators of McLennan's theories are good job, power, friendship, so that we can move the organization forward. I can tell you for free, most leaders or managers, they neglect the fact that it's tiny good job that an employee just melted or just carried out deserve even a worthy recognition. Oh, Mr. Abdurrahman, you did this. Oh, this is amazing. Have you been thinking about it before? Or you read something somewhere that is actually helping you? You need to, work with their psyche and give them good recognition when it comes to job well done. The power does not reside in you as an employer of labor. Try to have a decentralized power so that everyone in that organization can have ownership mentality. When they feel some people are more important than the other, I tell you, they will be drifting away when it even comes to something that can save the organization. Now, friendship is very, very important. Don't be that boss that is hanging in the space and you leave your employees to be diving into the grave. No. Most of the employees that we have today, they are also potential employers of labor tomorrow. So please, let's maintain cordial relationship based on McLennan's needs for employee and employees kind of motivation. So finally, I want the last slide. This is a reflection time. I want us to also be very transparent. From everything we've said tonight, as an employer and as an employee, motivation is self-directed. We've heard that the hygiene theory says salary does not even give them everything. Condition of service does not give them everything. But that motivation we're looking for is self-directed. Are you the type that listens to Chinese whisper? Are you the type that you have self-actualization? Are you the type that, okay, I'd rather get rich quick or die trying? Think about it. Nobody is going to motivate you than yourself, whether intrinsic or extrinsic. Let it be self-directed and let's have self-control. Self-control is also an important aspect of motivation. Okay, I'm just going to break an ice here. I used to have a cousin and he was working in a stable. That stable gave him everything he wanted. Now, there was one eye-popping offer that came. No, not anyone in this training would reject the eye-popping offer. From Abuja to Kano, and we're staying together, and he was giving me, the lowdown. Thank God I left my previous job was so hectic. Now look at this, they gave me a new laptop that is worth 1 million. Every Friday we do TGIF, they read book, they cut cake, incentives back and forth. 6 months into the storyline of this job, not only him, they were all asked advice to resign because the company cannot sustain the actual hygiene factor they put out there. So it wasn't remorse, but personally, said to me and said, "Oh, that do you know that in life we should be careful of what we wish for?" Now, he's back to Abuja doing that former job, and that sanity, peace of mind is there. So self-control is very, very important. Are you the type that when they whisper into your ear that, Mrs. Marian, how are you? Did you know that Mrs. Kolako, she's earning 2.5 million? Don't tell anybody that I said that to you. But we are all employed in different ways, and we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. So self-control is another important factor in employees' motivation. Now, maturity to control motivation. I am telling you, there's a whole lot around motivation, either intrinsically or extrinsically. Let's have the maturity to control our motivation. Number two, reward system must correspond to intrinsic factors if employees are to be motivated. Please, whatever we're feeling in our mind, please, employers, we are pleading to you, kindly make everything to be together. Don't be giving us empty promises. Tell us, give us what we want, which is why football is one of the best, or should I say, one of the most profound, should I say sector, or let me just say sector, sports sector, that value intrinsic motivation. Nobody will ever question the fact that Ronaldo is earning he's an angel. Nobody's going to question that Messi is doing this or any like that. And in the same club, you will still see a player that is earning like a cleaner before them, because the intrinsic factor, having that name Messi, having that name Ronaldo, is enough for you to be able to know that the intrinsic factor must correspond with the employee's needs for him or her to be motivated. Now, satisfying intrinsic factors is an all too common attempted method for motivating workers. People want to show off. Employer wants to show off. Do you know how much I'm paying that person? Different twists around this particular motivation that we need to also control when it comes to organization success and driving growth. So I'm going to take a bow for now, and I want you to quickly hit the chat button. 2 things you've learned and 1 theory that you think would give you the how of managing your employees. Please, let's go quickly. Let's hit the button. Thank you for the flowers and all of that. Let's quickly go to the button. 2 things you've learned from this session, and 1 or 2 theories you think you can employ to move your employee better than what they are right now. So I'll be going to the chat box for me to. Okay, someone said we also have Adams equity theory and pink theory. Fantastic. Like I rightly mentioned, the theories are like the different oceans of the world: Pacific, Indian, Atlantic, and all of that. So we try to regulate them based on these 4 theories that we have. Please, let's hit the chat button to tell us 2 things we've learned today from this session that I just finished, and which theory do you think will work better for you to be able to get or sparkle your employees when it comes to job satisfaction and giving the organization success. Please, let's quickly type it. And what we're doing is let's also be open-minded to ask questions. Thank you very much. I'll be coming back to read comments while we allow the CEO and Toria Academy to also lend a voice as far as this other part of this presentation is concerned. Please, 2 things you've learned and 1 theory you think you can imbibe to give you the how to manage or sparkle the motivation of your employees. Please, let's type. I'm seeing flowers, but I want us to type, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. More flowers, more flowers. Thank you very much, Mr. Zakaria. You will all agree with me that it has been a very reflective, insightful, inspiring session about employer motivation. You will all agree with me that this session has, taken a very deep dive into the conversation. Okay, so we move to, if you have your contribution, you have any contribution to make, you can raise your hand and we will call you, and then you can unmute and speak while we go into the chat box. Let's see what it is saying. Is there anyone that has anything to say? What is going on in the chat box? Let's hear. Yes, we are seeing the claps. We're seeing the hand claps. Let's hear what you have gained. Maintaining. Mr. Zach, I don't know if you can read.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Antonia. So we have Folagbade Olubukunola. Kindly pardon us for wrong pronunciation. Please pardon us. So from this participant, I think increase in salary is a good motivation for teachers and workers. Fantastic, increase salaries. So that's from Mrs. Folagbade Olubukunola. So according to Mrs. Ijoma Iwokedi, McLennan, to work with employees' psyches, fantastic, and to maintain a cordial relationship with them. Amazing. So I'm loving these charts. Please, let's keep them popping. And for those who want to unmute to also speak, I'm going to pause, mute my microphone right now so that we can raise our hand for us to also contribute or ask questions. Please, let's two things we've learned from this session and one theory that we would like to use to motivate our employees. Thank you so much, Mrs. Folagbade. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ijoma. Thank you.
Can we have contributions, questions, please? Annual evaluation of staff performance and training is also a good way to go. And the welfare department, Mr. Zach, can you please acknowledge that from Mrs. Miriam? Mrs. Miriam said.
Yes, so
Okay, you want to speak? Okay, you can speak. Okay.
Okay, if I could buttress that point, you have instances where you have good staff who are ready to put their passion to the job, but because they see that maybe like you have like 4 or 3 staff on the same duty, and maybe one person is doing the job perfectly well, running the job like his or her own business, seeking for growth and expansion, but the other people are just doing, the way they want to go about it, not giving a damn because they don't see any motive to put in their best, or they feel like there's not much coming to them, but the owner is the one getting all the incentive. So wherever you are having a welfare department set up, there are instances where that's such a staff who is putting him or her best is faced with some challenges, maybe health-wise or home-based issues, and that department is able to talk with the staff, talk with them, find out what their challenges are from time to time, maybe during the annual meeting, and see where the office can kind of encourage them by just supporting them in one way or the other. That, I think, is also a way to motivate staff, because I worked some time ago with Alhaji Bamanga Tuku's company, and one of his arm of companies, because he had multiple companies under his umpire, the manager then was different from the manager with the section where I worked. He had time with staff, he talked with them one-on-one. What's your problem? What challenge do you have? How do you think this company can help you so you can put in your best? And I found that on that side of that's the shipping, I think the shipping section, they were doing much better because the manager took time off to talk to individual staff apart from the group meeting they had. I was able to know, relationship of a boss and staff should go beyond just the job. That way you are making them know that they matter. Their welfare also matters to you. It's not just for you to have them do your job for you, but everything that concerns them also concerns you. I think that would be also a better way to encourage teachers and staff generally. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Miriam. So may I add to say that Miriam is joining us from the US. So sisters supporting sisters, we keep supporting each other. We thank you very much for joining the call and for lending your voice. So if we all remember correctly, there was a question that was asked after the first session that, you have a group of staff and a certain number of staff are toxic and they're influencing the other. And how do you manage such a scenario? How do you manage those staff? And one of the things I said was that you need to listen to them, you need to hear them, you need to get them to talk to you one-on-one, because if you don't talk to your staff, if you're just having a boss and staff relationship and mentality, they will only show up, they will not lean in, they will lean out. Those are part of the things that, I said when we were talking. So you want everybody to have that ownership. You want them to have that that connection. So there has to be that connection with your staff. It does not mean that they're taking over your company. They're not taking over your company, but it's just to show that they are valued and they matter, just like Marianne has said. Thank you very much for that contribution. All right, so Mr. Muideen's hand is raised.
Okay.
Contribution.
Good evening, everybody. I really appreciate the first facilitator and the second facilitator for doing justice to the topic very well. And tonight I really learned a lot of things. Mine is a question. At the same time, I want to paint a practical scenario. I remember very well Mr. Hogger has a question about when a group of staff became toxic, in a working environment. And you said that, from your response, you said there must be a reason, because the reason for them to be toxic, because they did not start like that. Then as a result of that, you have to speak with them, try to find out, talk to them. So let me paint a particular scenario now as a practical, and let's see how we can handle such a situation. In a working environment whereby a lot of people, let me just say probably on average of 100,000 naira is their salary, majority of staff, and because of economic situation of the country, the salary is no more enough, and the employer is not actually looking on how to increase the salary. But then there's a need for them, because of expansion, to add in more staff, to their team. But unfortunately, during the process, most of the staffs are not ready to take what the staffs are taking, the current staff are taking. So then they started bringing on board staff to join the company at higher salary. And of course, most of them are not even doing up to what those in the system are doing, because of the fact that they cannot get any hands who is going to take that 100,000 naira. Most of them are requesting for 150 and above, and because of the need, they started adding to they started taking them and not considering the fact that they have existing staff who are earning far below that. The trend has continued for some time, and of course, probably they could not get another job to leave because of one reason or the other, probably settlement because of their family movement from one job to another, and they became toxic. And of course, they are doing their work, probably they are not putting their best. And somebody, I think I read a quote sometimes when somebody said the quality or the standard of a school or any organization is directly proportional to the least pay of a staff in that establishment. You know, so looking at that scenario now, how do you handle such a situation? Of course, we all know that money, just like all the theories say, that money is not of course, is the floor, not the ceiling. Or we have other ways of motivating staff, teacher, what have you. But then in this situation, in this scenario, even if you have to disengage all these staff, what happened to the replacement? Because sometimes I look at a situation whereby staff that you are paying 100,000 naira want to leave, employer is not even trying to negotiate to find the reason why he or she wants to leave. They are quick in actually accepting the resignation letter, only for them to replace such a teacher with double of the salary. Do you understand? Because they are not even ready to speak with such an employee to find out the reason why he's going. And of course, in some situations, it could be because of the pay. So in this situation, this is a practical example. How do you think you can marry it as an employer? How do you want to ensure, there's not going to be a problem within that establishment? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zach. Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Muideen Ejiwumi. That was very apt. And I'm just going to reference some write-up here that spoke about annual evaluation, which is part of the theory that we mentioned. Policies, all right? That's apart from having the salary scale, Esberg's motivational theory also spoke about policies and supervision. So now I want to answer this question from two angles as well. The first angle is, what is the organization policy? What is it saying about salary increments? Let's talk about that. Now, what is the organization benchmark for appraisal? For everyone that has been employed, there's always a policy of probably 3-month probational period or 6-month probational period. What is that policy saying? That, okay, after 3 months, are you going to have salary increments, or until after 6 months? That's one side of it. And then the other side of it is, there's no organization. In fact, I've heard one of my British bosses, one of them, she said, when people went to her and said, okay, we've stayed here for these newbies to be employed. We work for these newbies to be employed. Why are they any more than them? Do you know what this British woman said? Respectfully, she said they came at the right time or a better time. So they should earn a better salary. Now, you now discover that there's a mixed feelings around these two realities. You have your policy that after 6 months, after 1 year, you're going to increase people's salary. But most organizations, most employers, they don't go back to that. They hardly go back to that. They forget the old wine and appreciate the new words, the newbies. And I'm telling you, there's no anyone that is coming into any organization, apart from an angel, maybe Angel Gabriel, maybe in human skin, that can do a turnaround, because you need to learn about the organizational culture. You need to adapt to the system. It's not going to be a spontaneous kind of adaptation. So in that light, let's go back, and we as an employee, we shouldn't take policies for granted. Most times when we're having these issues that, oh, they gave me policy, say we should read it, let me read it. And anytime they want, let's don't worry. But when these things are actually haunting us, that's when we now be regretting it, that why am I not being, why am I not getting what I want now? Because you failed to dot all your I's and cross all your T's when it comes to asking questions too. A very good analogy of this is when employees go to work very late, they get sanctioned, true or true. But when they close late, do they tell them do they sanction them? That's the reality around it. So for this kind of scenario, newbies are employed. they are all coming from different angles, from the point of experience or their track records, right? Of course, they can be subjected to good salaries, and you that you are within. Again, how well are you growing? How well do you have self-actualization? Are you the type that since the last time you came, they had your appraiser, you have not even done one single online course? Are you the type that you're going from one seminar to the other to improve yourself? There's no two ways when they know that you are adding value one way or the other, beyond just saying, okay, you're just part of the extra tires that they have. You're not adding value. People will find it difficult to recognize you. I am telling you for free, sir, there's no organization out of 10 organizations. I'm saying it from data-driven feedback and records. There's no 10 out of any organization wants to lose, 1 or 2 wants to lose their best staffs. 1 or 2 wants to lose their best staff. So in that light, anybody that wants to make cases when it comes to salary increments, please learn your policies like your Quran and Bible, and also don't be on that low level of a Maslow. Try and keep improving. As you're making progress, be informing your organization and be adding value, which is why most times they'll say some graduates are not employable. It's not because they don't have the first class or so, but what value are you adding to that organization? I think that's my own 50 cents. And I think other people can also contribute to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that insight and for driving that home again. If you remember exactly, so keep improving yourself on the job. So if you remember correctly, I still mentioned about, you as an employee, if they want to let you go and replace you, the organization is going to spend more. And I also mentioned that organizations, when you tell them to empower their staff by sending them out for trainings and for courses, they will tell you there are no funds. But even you as an individual, as an employee, how are you improving yourself? So that when you go out there, if you're not satisfied, if you're in a dissatisfied work environment, you want to go out. Do you have what it takes to go out? So that is what keeps a lot of them back in that same place where they are feeling dissatisfied, and they're feeling dissatisfied, and they make the environment toxic. They don't want to leave because they have nowhere to go, or because even if they go out, they will be unemployable. So what are you doing? So as an employee on this call tonight, I will encourage you that, just like Mr. Zakaria has said, you have the control. You need to take ownership of your professional and personal development. You need to develop yourself, and they will not let you go. If you don't develop yourself, you'll be one of the first that they will kick out. But if you're feeling dissatisfied, even after professionally developing yourself, and there is still that, you still don't have that motivation, you can boldly step out. You can boldly step out because you know that you have gained capacity, you have built capacity, you have built yourself up. And so any organization is going to employ you and give you a better pay, right? Okay, so salary is a good way to motivate, but at the same time, you need to develop yourself. Otherwise, you will be in that organization. People will come in with better experiences and they will earn more. So, we go out because we have built capacity, and that's why we're doing what we're doing today. So I want to encourage you, build capacity, develop yourself professionally and personally, and trust me, there is no organization without them.
Thank you very much for the responses to my question. I really appreciate that. But I just want to also, is it practicable if somebody felt that he has developed himself very well, being a good staff and what have you, that he can really vouch for himself in terms of self-development and the competency on his
your
job.
hands are still raised.
So can the person actually take it as a bargaining chip to, since you know your value, that you know your worth, and step aside even if the person doesn't have another job?
Yeah.
Okay, Miss
Okay.
Miriam, I think Miss Miriam wants to respond to that. Okay, so
So instead of being tossed in the organization, thank you.
Yes, sometimes we think we have really, really developed ourselves and are fit for a particular position. But that's what's the word now? The level you think you have gotten might not be what the company is looking for. The criteria which they use to qualify you for that next seat, you probably have not met it. So in the process of developing yourself, I think it's better for you to try to find out what the company is looking out for and work towards that. And it's also very, I want to add to what as Antonia said earlier on, you know, while you're developing yourself, or rather when you develop yourself to an extent, you can market yourself. If the company is telling you to let's go, don't cry for the job. Just dust yourself and move on. Like over here, you are allowed to do as many courses as you can do. I have a lot of certificates, so if I'm tired of the health sector, a particular sector, I could turn to another sector, still in the health sector. I can move around, you know, different field in the health sector. So when you have developed yourself, you know that you have various fields, you know, specialties. You can market yourself. You don't have to depend on that job. Nigeria we back home, we say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, okay? For teachers, they are doing a good job because we say teachers are the one creating nations. They're teaching various fields and people are coming out to give their best back. But then even as a teacher, you want to improve from a primary school teacher to a secondary school teacher to a college teacher, and, you know, maybe also become a continuing education teacher. You can go on various stages. So it's important that when you're developing yourself, be sure that you are developing yourself in a field or in an area that the company needs to make you get promotion to the next seat. In that wise, if you don't get that next seat, you can also still scout around for other fields still in the company. If you are allowed to. But if you're not allowed to, then you can, you can, like I said, just go out and market yourself. There's some courses you read or some short courses you do that you can market yourself. You can be anywhere you want to be. You can never lack job. You can never be out of work. You can always get a job to do. So when you're trying to put up the thinking cap and make sure that you are diversifying in your self-development. Thank you.
thank you very much, Ms. Miriam. It's been an
Thank you.
insightful conversation. It's been an inspiring one. Any last words from Mr. Zakaria before we close? We're rounding up now. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you for this opportunity. Promise. We said we're going to read all the feedback here in the chat box.
Please do.
Miss Miriam, it's quite difficult for me to pronounce the name. Please forgive me. So Miss Miriam Yu, I think annual evaluation of staff performance and training is also good help for staff to give their best. It's also good to have a staff wellness and welfare department to encourage staff. So that's part of the Maslow hierarchy of need and all of that. Thank you so much. Karakiti Titilokwe says recognition and appreciation is a very good motivation for staff. You need to, like, staff of the week, staff of the month. It goes a long way to motivate staff. Not just saying, okay, you have to back it up with monetary values or gifts, but even a word of encouragement will go a long way. Mention that specified tools for each employed staff. So for your appraiser, you can also schedule, like most organizations will always have appraiser, not because they have time to waste, but because they want to speak to the hearts of these employees. Once again, she also mentioned there's an offer letter when you were employed, so you can always make reference when making your case. Fantastic. So please, we shouldn't neglect all these basic things that we got. We felt we got them as a platter of gold. No, they are the contractual benefit that binds you and the organization. So according to the finance word for here, he said, keep improving yourself on the job. So the biggest room in the world my last word is that room for improvement. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. So I'm going to rest my case back to you, Mrs. Antonia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If you know that tonight's session has made impacts on you, on your thoughts, if we have met your expectations, please kindly show us some love using the emojis. Let's see it coming. If we have impacted you, if we have said things that resonate with you, please show us some love. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I will just indulge you for a minute, if you can, before I give my closing remark. Can you just all turn on your cameras for a photo session? Please just turn on your cameras for a photo session. Let's see our lovely faces. Mr. Ejiomi, please, are you close by? Can you please, let's have a photo session, please. Mr. Ejiomi, are you still on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call.
Okay, please, can we have a photo session? Can we all turn on our mic? Garaki. Let's see. Every other one. Olumiwa has left because we said turn on your camera. Please, let's turn our camera just for a minute.
So some people may not be in a place where they're able to put on their camera. So.
Miss Garaki, are you able to turn on your camera? If you can, please turn on your camera. So, all right, so let's go. Oh, Falagbade, thank you very much for showing your face. Chidima, can you please show your face? Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah, Mr. Jonah, let's see you, Mr. Okay, so can we just strike a pose and say, let's give a good smile. If you're happy, let's see you. Thank you for the shots. Nice, thank you, lovely. Good to see you all, good to see you. Please, Mr. Ejiomi, when you're done.
Yes, I'm done with it. Yes, I'm done with the photograph. Please, I told this no information, please. At the end of this session, we are going to send the link for you to be able to check to replay it. It's going to be posted on our YouTube channel, and we please kindly plead that you should subscribe to our channel and share the link with other friends and family to go through it. Please share your love with us, and we are going to really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, Karaki. Thank you so much. So in my closing, I want to sincerely appreciate every one of you that showed up on this call tonight. Okay, Miss Marianne.
Thank you so much. Even though I'm joining you guys late, but there's one thing I want us to put in mind, because that's what affects most of us. When we pick up a job, we have the mindset that that's our last bus stop. No, that's not your last bus stop. You can go higher. You can be more. So your mindset to let you know that you can come out of that comfort zone at any time and probably just hit the right door. Don't say, oh, this bed is better than none. That's the mindset of most Nigerians. I'm a Nigerian. So that's the mindset of most Nigerians. We always say, oh, half bread is better than none. I'm not made to eat half bread. I can as well have a full bread, or even much more loaf. So please, let's have a right mindset. Whatever job we find ourselves in, we can be more. And you're working for somebody, you can be the boss. It's just your mindset. You got to open it up and leave the comfort zone. Thank you.
Awesome.
Very
Thank
funny.
you.
Half bread is better than none. My friend would say half bread is better than chichi.
We are not going for
half
bread.
Bread is gone. And then half bread is gone. What happens? You starve. You got to move on. Life has a lot of things for you to explore.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Thank you for joining the call. So this is Antorial Academy. We are a fully online secondary school and an education hub. So one of the things, some of our services is what we're doing today. We run trainings, several trainings, professional trainings. We also run after school tutorial sessions for children from the primary up to the secondary. We take on students who are about to take preparatory examinations, the SAT, the SAT, students who are looking at training or lessons or preparation for A-levels, so we are an education hub. And that is why you have been referred to our YouTube channel after now. Once the recording is ready, it will be posted on our YouTube channel. You can go there, you can subscribe and share the link with your friends, and you can go there and see what we are doing. And you can also visit our website to see what we are all about. So we're not just all about training, we are actually about the whole ecosystem, the education space. We want to tell you that learning can be done and achieved differently. It doesn't have to be within the four walls of a school. You can have quality education even online. So like our space, Facebook, on Instagram, we are there, Antorial Academy. Reach out to us, and you can also send us an email on info@antorialacademy.com.ng. We'll be glad to take your concerns or your questions. So I want to say a big thank you to every one of us, to our technical team. We say thank you very much for staying true with us. God bless you and have a restful night. Bye-bye. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you so
Bye.
much. You can unmute and say bye.
Bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ijoma. Thank you, Mr. Jonah. Thank you, Video Richie. Thank you, Anyao Chidi, my brother from another mother. Thank you so much for your support. We'll keep meeting in this space. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Have a restful night. Have a restful night. God bless you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you so much. Thank you. 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 It's been a wonderful evening. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.